Welcome, Petina, to the Cardiff Heights Baptist online service. We're really glad to be able to share with you this way. Could you introduce yourself for any who might not know you and tell us what God has called you to do?
Yeah. Good morning, Cardiff Heights. It's wonderful to be able to share with you like this morning. So my name is Petina Abbott. I work in Northern Thailand with Global Interaction. And our goal is to share the gospel with the ethnic Thai, who are a least reached people group, and help them to find ways to worship and serve God that are culturally acceptable within their community.
Right, now, Petina, I understand there are about 70 million people in Thailand, and yet less than 1% of them are evangelical Christians, but mission work has been going on for 200 years. So why has it been so difficult, do you think, to see fruit?
Yeah, that's a great question, Lindsay. So Christianity has made a huge impact on the ethnic minorities and Hill Tribe people of Thailand. But when it comes to the ethnic Thai communities with which we work amongst, there's a saying that is well known in Thailand, which is to be Thai is to be Buddhist. And this means that Buddhism is the identity of the Thai people. Buddhism underpins and underlies everything about their society and their community. And Thai people are very communal. They're very ingrained in their community. They're very loyal to their community, to their families, to their people, to their country. And so to stray outside of that is very difficult and not accepted well amongst the people. So I think, their identity is what kind of builds who they are, and that for them is Buddhism. Christianity is seen as a Western religion, and so to follow Jesus and to become a Christian is to kind of leave your entire identity behind.
So what activities are you involved in seeking to share the gospel with Thai?
Yeah, so me personally, besides, what we do, our ministry is very relational. So we're involved in communities, in building relationships, engaging with the community, investing in people's lives, much like you would back there in Australia. For me, I'm involved in English teaching and language learning are the two main, regular activities. So for English teaching, the opportunities I have there to share the gospel mean that on special days and special events, Christmas being a big one, but also things like Mother's Day, Father's Day, I'm able to teach using stories from the Bible. So that's sharing the gospel with the students that I teach with there in the schools. And then also language learning. A lot of us end up, once we have an established relationship with our nurturer, just using the Bible as a teaching tool, as a learning tool. So we learn, the Thai Bible and the Thai vocabulary for the biblical terms and words and Thai stories, and learn how to tell those stories. And that's another form.
Yeah. Given those activities, I imagine COVID-19 has made a big dent in that. How has COVID-19 affected you these recent times?
Yeah, it's been quite a difficult challenge for me personally. Thai school holidays started just as the country went into lockdown, but they're not going back now for another sort of 6 weeks, even though they're due back to start this month. So yeah, I haven't had the opportunity to teach or get connected with that community because of social distancing. I haven't had any language lessons, and it's been really difficult to stay connected with my friends. But one thing I have seen happen is that our team has creatively found ways to conduct some online services. So the believers that live in different provinces are able to come together once a week for an online worship service.
Getting back to the big picture and the mission work in Thailand. What evidence do you see of God building his church among the ethnic Thai?
Yeah. So there are people coming to faith in Jesus. In the rural areas where we work, and beginning to see in Chiang Mai as well, some people that are coming together to learn about God, to teach and fellowship and encourage one another. We call them communities of faith, but they look fairly similar to house churches in terms of their makeup. So these people are coming together on a weekly basis to teach one another, to pray together, to encourage, to learn, to serve together as a community. And we are involved in, although we're not necessarily living there full time, we're involved in continuing to disciple and nurture these groups.
Mm. Can you tell us the story of any individual who has come to faith in Jesus?
Yeah. So there's a particular lady, we'll call her Kay. Kay has had an association with people from our organisation for the past 10 plus years. So she lives in a rural community. She is a retired teacher, but someone that we have connected with in a variety of different forms. She has become our person of peace, for those of you that are familiar with that term. When we first moved into the community, she was involved in just helping us connect to the community, to meet people, to go to events, to engage, to learn about the culture and the lifestyle that we're living. And she became our language nurturer, our language teacher for majority of the people on team. She was a very avid Buddhist, very staunch in her faith. Never hostile, but, you know, I'm a Buddhist, you're a Christian, and that's the way that the world works, and we're okay with that. Over the years, as we've been able to share life with her and share stories with her, we've seen her heart soften. She at one point in time was quite open to having us pray for her. So she suffers from a chronic heart condition, and she would allow us to pray for her when we offered to do that, to pray for her family. You know, she was very happy to read the Bible with us in our language lessons, and actually became quite, the stories became quite familiar and quite well known to her, but only on a knowledge level, never in a heart level. We continued the relationship, investing in her life and her family, and it got to the stage where she would actually invite us to pray for her. So going through a place where we would offer and she would accept, to her actually asking us to pray for her. And now, about 12 months ago, we had a Thanksgiving service where we invited everybody to come and bring a portion of their crops from farming, and just speak about ways that God had been at work in their lives, and to thank him for the provisions that he'd given them. I invited Kate along. She doesn't come regularly to the community of faith because of her family situation. So I invited her to come along to this service, and she was the first one who volunteered to speak, thanking God for his work in her life, acknowledging that he was at work in her life, and just acknowledging that she was following him. So that just blew us all away, because we had no idea the way that God had been at work in her life. We had been living there for over 12 months. And so it was just really wonderful for us to see that she started as someone who was fairly indifferent to someone who is now professing a faith in Jesus in her own cultural way. So it was exciting.
Thank you. A great example of God at work, and bringing somebody to himself through his gospel. That's wonderful. Well, just quickly to end, Petina, for this time, how can we continue to support you as you serve there in Thailand?
Yeah, obviously prayer is a big thing. Prayer is important and powerful, and I need your prayers. So please continue to pray for me, for my team, and for Thailand and the work that God's doing here. Financially, we need the funds to be able to live and work here. So for those of you that are already providing financial assistance and support, I want to say a big thank you, and thank you to the church as a whole for doing that. And if God is laying it on your heart, I know it's difficult financial times at the moment with COVID, but you know, if God is laying it on your heart, I'd love to talk about how you can continue to support financially.
Well, thanks for sharing with us this time, Petina. We won't be talking to you at tonight's Zoom meeting, but next week you're lined up to share with us in the evening. So we look forward to that as well. Thank you so much, and God bless.
Thank you. Bye.